this is the mix here. You get, now this is the mastered one. You see that it's fuller and it's louder. You see how the waveform is. So yeah, I need to smell good for the camera. Hope you guys can perceive it. What's up, guys? Welcome to today's tutorial. Vicky Melody here. Yeah, it's been a while. How you guys doing? Hope you guys have been productive. So without wasting much of the time, I'm going to be showing you a project I did, and I thought it would be wise to share the process with you guys. So you know how we do it here, Vicky Melody. Yes. So let's get into the system. All right. So this project right here. Um, Normally when I export a mix, this is a video on how I mastered this particular track to the way it sounds. I'm going to play what it sounds like before and what it sounds like after the master. You get, so even if you watch at the screen here, this is the mix here. You get, now this is the mastered one. You see that it's fuller and it's louder. You see how the waveform is. So I'm going to play what it sounds like before and what it sounds like after. So let me pull off my mixer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The way you find so, I'm not gonna let you walk past me. Today I'm like you, but I'm scared. No attention, you don't capture me attention. You don't capture me attention.
Now this is what it sounds like after the whole mastering.
You don't capture me attention. You don't capture me attention. You don't capture me attention. No, you don't blow.
So you see it gets louder and is perceived better. So just watch through to the end of the video. I'm going to show you a particular plugin to use to get as loud as possible without killing the dynamics in your song. So do well to watch through the end. Get, if you've not liked, also if you've not subscribed to the channel, do so now, because I think about 20 something percent of people who watch my videos are subscribed, and a lot of people, up to like 80%, are not subscribed. You get, so it helps the channel grow. So drop your comments and everything that helps the video grow. Yeah, so now if you watch, I have like 3 waveforms here. Now you'll be wondering what I'm doing with 3. This one is actually the mastered one, but then this is the first one when I finished mixing it. Now the reason why I brought it up, if you watch, I wrote it mix. The guy's name is Pope, actually is the artist name. You get, so this is the main mix I exported. Now this is the phase corrected one. Now whenever I bounce out my mix, I do a little bit of phase correction and also balancing the audio, so it won't have some parts maybe in the left. You know, sometimes some instrument there might be an off balance in the mix, where you have the left part of the audio getting louder than the right part of the audio. So some of those stuff, if you watch correctly on the screen, you'd see in parts like this. Let me make it bigger. You see, get at this point where you see this is at the left stereo image, where you have a peak here, but on the corrected one, everything is correct. The reason why this thing is necessary, because it helps your compressor and also helps your limiter at the end, so it doesn't get a lot of these high peaks where they are not necessary. You understand? It doesn't change the sound of your audio, it doesn't change anything, it just makes it better. You get, so look at these peaks here. Look at, I've highlighted this one. Look at, it just balances the waveform. And what do I use for that? I use to correct my phase, I use the iZotope RX10. You get, is a plugin you get from iZotope. Then it has a lot of things you can do to correct your audio. You can use the reverb, anything, the hum and stuff. For those who don't know the plugin, you could just do anything. And this is the phase where I correct my phase and export it. You get, so that's usually the first thing I do, because it helps me get to a reasonable extent where the work gets easy. You understand? So then I sent it to my mixer as usual. Yeah, so all right, so let me take off every effect I have here, then I'll bring them in one by one. So the first thing I did was the EQ. Yeah, I use far filter almost all the time. Yeah, so I was cutting off the lows. I do this every time in my mastering because some people say it's not necessary, but for me it is, because there's actually nothing happening, nothing of importance happening below from 0 to 20 hertz. You get some genres of music like the blues or stuff, they even cut up to like 30 or 40 hertz. You get, but this is Afro, Amapiano or stuff like that, and African music we need the low end because we need it to hit in the clubs and stuff like that. But then I'm going to solo this 20 hertz, so you listen and tell me if you can hear any sound there. There are sounds happening there, but our ear, the human ear, is listening to, can perceive sound from around 20 hertz to like 20,000 hertz. So let me just solo it, and you plug in your headset and tell me if you could hear something. Just anything, if you could hear it, drop it in the comment section. If you can, just also let me know. You get. So at the process of this, like I said, try to watch this video to the end, because there is a special plugin I'll be using to show you how to get loud and without also killing your dynamics. You understand? So I'm going to solo 20 hertz. Did you hear anything there? So it's usually best to just cut it off, so the energy of the song will just be on the necessary part. Sometimes I will just cut off 20 hertz from the high, 20,000 hertz from the high frequency, but I didn't do that now. So I also did some cuts, because you listen to your sound and you see the places where instruments clash, because a music, like the track, is a combination of a lot of sounds, your kick, your drums, or everything. So there might be places where certain frequencies hit and they resonate. So I took down, I was not even going so much, I was not even going up to minus a dB. You have to be careful when doing your mastering. If you have to do a lot of cuts, you have to go back to the mix and fix it there. You don't do those kind of cuts in the mastering. The mastering is just like the final touch you do before you put out the song, to be so it matches the same energy, the same power, the same vibe with the professional sounds, or radio, we call it being radio worthy. Yeah, so I took down this frequency. It was more like the kind of, I don't know if I can call it boxy, but it was kind of like a sound that comes when you close your mouth. So I don't like that frequency a lot. Then also this. Some of these frequencies, you won't even notice them until you start adding your limiter. Once everything gets loud, you now find some of those frequencies annoying. Yeah, so most of the times when I'm mixing or mastering, I use my monitors. At some point I'll turn them off, put on my headset, so I'll get better understanding about how the sound is sounding in different systems. Sometimes I'll export and play it in the car, like listen, play it in the TV, play it in the laptop, everywhere. So the goal is just to make it sound moderately fair in all these sound systems. That's the goal while we are mastering. You get. So after doing that, I brought in one of my favorite EQs. This is an analog style EQ, the PukeTech. You should already know the PukeTech. Now this plugin is, sometimes I just add it on my master bus without touching anything. There's this flavor and richness it adds, and fullness it adds to a track. Let me see if I could select a different part. I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you, how I feel for you. You don't know, baby. So I was using I selected the high frequency, the spice of if a sound is usually around the 10,000 or the 12,000, sometimes 15,000 or 16,000. So I was selecting the 12,000, then I boosted it to like plus 5 on the high frequency. Was adding this high tests. Let me just boost it so you hear.
I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you, how I feel for you.
You see that clarity in the high frequency, and the reason why I love this is that it doesn't get so crazy. Even when I boosted to like plus 9 dB, it wasn't getting so crazy. So, and I also did the same for the low frequency around 100, and also boosted it like 2 dB, so to give it that low energy that it needs to hit the speakers. You get. But sometimes if the sound is already heavy and low, and maybe I want to highlight the kick, I will just switch it over to 60 hertz, because the kick is usually at the 59 and 60 hertz of a sound. You get. So always try to memorize where frequencies are in your song. It will help you so much. So after that, what else did I use? Okay, so I brought in this particular compressor. Now I should have used the I think I did I use this compressor too? Let me check, please. Yes, I did, but okay, I think I used the SSL, which I use all the time. I used it, but it wasn't giving me the result I was going for, so I had to take it and put it off for a while, then use this particular. The reason why I did this was because the low end was triggering the compressor, which I didn't actually need. I wanted the whole body of the sound to come up. So I first of all I used the VBC Gray from Slate Digital. So what I did there, the reason I used this is because it has like a high pass filter where you could high pass your neglect the low frequencies and let your compressor focus from the mid range and the high range, so you get it compact. So I wanted my mid range and my high frequencies to come out in the mix so much. So that was why I did just moderately fast attack. Auto release is usually best. Then I did my threshold with a ratio of 4:0. Then I cut off everything from 20 hertz to 150. You get. So the compressor is now listening to from 150 above, so it's neglecting the kick and my bass, because I wanted those ones to stay there without getting lowered by the compressor. So that was my goal in this thing. So I did that.
I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you.
You watch. Had it been I did okay, let me take it down.
I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you, how I feel.
Now you notice it was now responding to the kick. You could go back and watch it again. It was responding more to the kick, but neglecting, cutting off the kick and everything. It was now focusing more on the vocal and the mid range. That was my goal. I wanted it to come up.
I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you.
So that was it. Then after that, I now brought in my SSL bus compressor to now glue everything together. Both I forgot to mention, after reducing like watching like I got like -2 of gain reduction, I had to make it up and add extra 2 dB. So let me play what it sounds before and after.
I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you, how I feel for you. You don't know, baby, I like you.
You see that everything is just coming up gradually. So after that, I brought in my SSL compressor.
I just want to make you know how I feel for you, how I feel for you.
Now when I put my final compressor, most of the time I have to select the loudest part of the mix, especially the chorus, so that that's where I highlight before I do my final stuff. So I think this was the loudest part if you watch from the peaks, or even this part. So I had to select there.
First time I set my eyes on
you watch your node, your this needle, you see that there was more response there. But when you could deceive yourself compressing in this quiet part, then when it gets to this place, it starts squashing your mix, which is what you don't want. So always compress, get your compressor to work highest at the loudest part, so it doesn't really kill the low parts. You understand? I added this to just glue the whole mix together, both the lows and the highs. So this particular compressor is very easy to use. You could just select a preset. It has a mastering preset there. So, but for me, when I select, I will just turn off the analog because I didn't want the analog sound in it. My EQ already has that EQ. The PukeTech already has the analog on, which I even prefer than what the compressor has. That was just it. I was getting like a minus a 1 dB or 2 dB, but I just you adjust your threshold to you see the amount of dB you want to see reduced. It gets auto release works best. It's just set in the preset, as easy as you understand. So the next thing I used, what did I use this guy? Yeah, so I brought in the isotope ozone. Now if you watch, I think if you watch closely, you see the sound is not playing, but this responses you are seeing here is coming from I think it's from this PukeTech, that analog that was on. I think so. Yeah, you see I've put it off, is disappeared. So that's what the analog setting is adding. And I selected, if you watch, it's representing more on the 60 hertz where the kick is. It's adding that warmth and heaviness in the low end. And if you watch here, I selected the 60 hertz in my analog, so you understand. So what I actually did in this imager, I checked the image. It was having the spread you needed, but then I said, okay, I didn't actually need the imager, but then I had to take the low frequencies, like from about 90 something or even 100. I wanted to make it mono. I didn't want it to enter the stereo image. I wanted to just make it mono so it stays at one place and bangs. You get? So that was the only thing I did in the image. I didn't widen the high frequency or anything. It's already wide in the mix already. So I just took down the bandwidth. This you see, it's just maintained at the middle there. That was what I did there, and that was all I did. Looking at the frequency distribution here, you see that it's wide enough. It's getting wide, so there's no point trying to widen it again. So you have what you want to do has to be in your head first before you start doing what you want to do. You don't just add plugins because you want to add them. So look at the plugin I was talking about. The magic plugin for me is a soft clipper. Using soft clippers will change your game. You understand? It will help you get louder, because if you add your limiter there, the limiter is doing a lot of work. But adding a soft clipper, I use the Apogee soft limit. It's a soft clipper. So what it does is your peaks, those peaks that are supposed to hit the limiter, it curves it off and clips some of the high, like according to your settings, it clips it off and gives you a lot of headroom, so you could push up your limiter and get louder. You understand? So, but you have to be careful with the soft limit or soft clipper. I think FL Studio has a soft clipper under Dynamics. Under Dynamics, there should be soft clipper. Yeah, Fruity soft clipper. But the reason I don't like using it is because it doesn't show me audio signal the way this one does. It just shows you your input. It's not showing you how much of gain reduction you are having in your soft clipper. So that's why I don't use FL soft clipper, but it works the same way. But I prefer using the Apogee. Now you watch my soft limit bar. I'm usually not going below 3 dB. This is 1, 2, and 3. I usually stay around there, so it sounds natural and doesn't kill my dynamics for me, because you don't want that. So if you have a heavy system that can process, you could increase your oversampling, so it becomes more accurate. You get. So for me, I turn off my auto makeup. I don't want it, so I'll just fine tune and select my soft limit until I get like minus 3 dB. Then I'll bring back my limiter. I'm going to still come back and show you without this guy. You see that the limiter is working extra hard and it's killing a lot of dynamics. So I bring in my limiter, which is my FabFilter Pro L2, my favorite. I haven't seen a limiter that does a better job than this guy. This guy is just my all-time favorite. No cap. Yeah, if you have your own favorite limiter, you could let me know. I will try it out and see. I also have another limiter that makes you go loud crazy, but I think I'll talk about it in another video. So this is my limiter. The first time I set my eyes on you, you don't capture me attention. 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 Now I'm going to I'm going to put off this soft limiter. You see that I'm having, when the soft limiter is on, or the soft clipper, that I'm getting very loud, but still I'm not killing up to like 4 dB of gain reduction. I'm around minus 3.6. You see that that's how much my limiter is working to get that loud. But if I put off this what's it called, the soft clipper, you see that it has a lot of attenuation it's doing. Let me show you. You see, minus 3.4, minus 3.5, minus 3.6, around that range. But without this guy, you see. Minus 6 points, minus 7 points. So those 3 dBs that we used our soft clipper curve to take down is now being the limiter is working so hard. This is like a soft knee limiter. That's why it's called soft limiter or soft clipper. It has a soft curve, but a limiter has a steep, like a flat curve like this. You understand? So that's why it's important to use soft limiter. It preserves your dynamics and makes you go louder, more loud than you could get with just your limiter. So I'll be ending the tutorial here. We have a lot of tutorials or videos on the channel that could help you grow as a music producer and maybe mix engineer, master engineer, beat maker, or whatever. So whatever kind of video you want to see on the channel, just let me know, ask your questions. I do appreciate everyone on the channel. Some of you that meet me physically on real life, you understand, we interact and we have fun. So do well to like, subscribe, do all those stuff to help the video grow and get to other people. So I'll see you on the next tutorial, depending on what you ask on the comment section. So stay creative. Vicky Melody says so.